What is going on, everyone? We are back with our NFL playoff predictions. Now, looking back at last week, it did not go quite as well for us as it did in the wild card round. We were a perfect 4 for 4 picking the games for wild card weekend. The divisional round, on the other hand, we were just 2 for 4. So we're going to review those picks and then make our selections for the conference championship game. So first up, looking at that Seahawks-Falcons game, the Falcons win that one 36-20. And honestly, I said in the last episode, I could see this game going either way. I did not think the Falcons would play as well as they did. And that goes for both the offense and the defense. The offense played nearly perfect. Matt Ryan over 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. And the defense was able to cause some problems with the running game. They shut down Thomas Rawls. Russell Wilson was not able to get a lot going. So even if the Seahawks offense had played well, their defense did not do enough and could not stop the clearly the number one offense in the league. And you could see why in that game, as the Falcons take it in pretty dominating fashion. Moving on now, second game of the weekend was Patriots and Texans, and this one went exactly how I thought it would. Now, it started off a little shaky. The Texans kind of stayed in this game in the first half, but ultimately it is all Patriots in the second half. They win it 34-16, and even though the Texans kept it close to the first half, that game never was really out of the Patriots' hands. But with how not well the Patriots played, they really did not play great. I think that kind of serves as maybe a little bit of a worry as we head into that conference championship game that we're going to talk about in a little bit. But Patriots take this one as we thought, so that's our first one right of the weekend. Now, next up is going to be Packers and Cowboys. This game ended up being the first game on Sunday because the Steelers-Chiefs got moved to the night game, but this game was, wow. I said this might be the best game of the playoffs, and I think it might end up being just that. This game was phenomenal. Now, everyone's going to look at the end of the game as being the reason that the Cowboys lost, but it's got to be the slow start they had coming out of the gate. They go down 21-3 in the first half, and while they did climb back, ultimately that's just too much of a hump. You cannot give Aaron Rodgers a cushion like that in a game. He does what Aaron Rodgers does best, makes that unbelievable throw. And then the kickers as well, I mean, getting their shine. Mason Crosby, what some unbelievable clutch kicks. Cannot imagine the pressure in those situations for kickers like that. But I was pulling for the Cowboys. I was hoping they were going to win that one, but ultimately they are going to lose, so they bow out of the competition. Packers win that one, so we had that one wrong. And then final game of the weekend was Steelers and Chiefs. And while they did have some elements to deal with in this game, it ultimately goes exactly how I thought it would. The Steelers do just enough to win this game. Their offense is special. Ben Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, that trio is just special. I mean, the Chiefs defense did do a good job of stopping them, keeping more points from being scored. A lot of field goals for the Steelers in that one, but ultimately the Chiefs offense just could not do enough. The Steelers defense, not great, but they did just enough. They were able to stop game plan really well, I think, in stopping the Chiefs offense. They just do not have enough weapons. Tyreek Hill was taken out of that game, and ultimately it is the Steelers winning that one. So we go 2 for 2 on the weekend, and now we move on to our predictions for the conference championships. First up is going to be Green Bay at Atlanta, and this one is a really, really hard one to pick because at this point, I don't know how you can pick against Aaron Rodgers. I didn't think there was any way the Packers were going to win that game in Dallas. Dallas was such a strong team. They were playing at home. I just didn't see Rodgers. I thought the luck was finally going to run out, but maybe it's not luck. Aaron Rodgers is just something else when he gets into the playoffs. This Packers team is something else when they get into the playoffs. So it's hard to pick against the Packers in this game, but I think the Falcons have a very, very good shot at winning this game. Matt Ryan and the Atlanta offense looked very, very good against a good Seahawks team. I thought the Seahawks defense was going to do a little bit better than they did, but you know what? Maybe they are good, and this Atlanta offense is just that good. The number one offense in the league this year, and they showed why in that game against Seattle. So I think if there's any chance that the Packers have in this game on the road, the offense, again, is going to have to be special like they were last week in Dallas, but their defense is going to have to do something. They're going to have to create some turnovers, get some stops, and I think that's going to be hard for them to do because the Packers defense is not great. It was an average defense this year. It was average in the second half against the Cowboys. When the Cowboys kind of figured things out in that fourth quarter, the Packers could not stop them, and I think they will have an issue with that here in Atlanta this weekend. So while I wouldn't be surprised, I guess, if Aaron Rodgers and the Packers end up winning this game, I'm going to say the Falcons take this one. I think they're just playing too good right now. Their defense is playing surprisingly well. The offense is near perfect, and I just don't think the Packers offense is going to be able to keep up with the Atlanta offense in terms of putting points on the board. Kind of how Dallas went last week. They just could not keep up with Aaron Rodgers. The offense was playing too well. I think that's going to happen to the Packers this week. They're not going to be able to keep up, and it's going to be the Falcons winning this one and heading to the Super Bowl. Now, the other half of the coin is going to be the Steelers at the Patriots. In this one, I think this is going to be a pretty good game. The Patriots did not look great against the Texans last week. I was actually surprised how badly they played at home. Now, they do get the edge. Once again, they're at home. They have the edge in Madden here, 93-89. But I don't know if that ultimately really makes much of a difference, because when you have three dynamic players like Ben Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown, and Le'Veon Bell, I think that is a difference maker. I think that the Steelers offense, if they can do what they need to do, not make stupid decisions, not make stupid mistakes. Ben Roethlisberger can make some questionable throws sometimes. Antonio Brown can do some weird things. Le'Veon Bell doesn't make a ton of mistakes. He's such a patient runner that it's hard to find faults a lot in his game. But if they can play well, I think the Steelers have a great shot at beating the Patriots in this one. I said a couple episodes, the very first episode we did in this playoff prediction, I thought that the Steelers had the best shot in the AFC to take down the Patriots. We saw already that not every top team is impenetrable. The Cowboys had their issues. They lost to the Packers, albeit on some pretty miraculous plays. But I think the Patriots, I think they're beatable as well. I think they're even more beatable than the Cowboys were. Their defense is good. It was pretty good in the regular season. They were not great against the Texans, though, and the Steelers' offense is much better than the Texans. On the other hand, though, Tom Brady and that Patriots offense is good. He didn't have to do a ton in that game. He ended up with 287 yards, 2 touchdowns. Edelman had 8 receptions for 137 yards. And the Steelers, while they did do well on defense against the Chiefs, the Patriots are on an entirely different level on offense compared to the Chiefs. So we kind of have it coming from both ends, where maybe last week's game is swaying us a little bit too much as we look forward to this coming weekend's game. But in trying to make a final decision on who I think is going to win this game, just seeing how that Packers-Cowboys game went and how some of the other games have gone in this playoffs, I'm kind of going to go against how I think the game will go, or maybe should go, and I'm going to take the Steelers in this one. Now, I haven't looked around to see who the experts are picking, which I'm assuming most will be selecting the Patriots to win this game, because it's very hard to pick against Tom Brady and Belichick in the playoffs. So while I can definitely easily see the Patriots winning this game, I just think there's something about this Steelers team. Their defense is playing well. The offense is very, very good at its peak. I think it's one of, if not the best offense, even better than the Falcons offense. So I'm going out a little bit on a limb. Maybe I'm going to turn out to be totally wrong, but I'm going to go Steelers. So the Super Bowl matchup, I'm saying, is going to be Steelers and Falcons. Now, we'll see. This could easily be Packers and Patriots, and I would not be surprised at all at this point. I mean, these are 4 very, very good football teams, so it could go either way. I'm going to go Steelers and Falcons, and we will have to wait and see now this weekend, Sunday, to see how these games play out. Now, next week, there will not be an episode because the Super Bowl is not next week. The Super Bowl will be in a couple weeks, so we'll come back in a couple weeks to review, I guess, how these selections go. But the final episode is not going to be just a simple one like this. I'm actually going to do a simulation, a full simulation. We did this last year as well. I'm going to let the computer play out to see who Madden predicts is going to win the Super Bowl. We'll do a full game, just let it play out, and then I'll cut together the highlights from that game. So we'll see if it does end up being the Steelers or the Falcons, but let me know in the comments down below who you think is going to win the conference championship games. Do you think the Patriots will win it? Do you think the Packers can continue their great success? Aaron Rodgers riding him into the Super Bowl once again? Let me know down below, and we'll find out this weekend who is going to be headed to the Super Bowl. So that is going to do it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, please go and give it a like. I'd really appreciate it, and subscribe to see any future videos that I make. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.